Conditional sentences. It is also a part of tenses. Conditional sentences generally start with if, unless, or provided. There are basically four rules, and the first one is, initially I would like to tell you that this is the if clause and this is the main clause. If you see present simple tense there in the if clause, then you will generally use future simple tense in the main clause, means will shall plus v1. But sometimes instead of using future simple tense we have to use can, may, must, should, any one of these four models plus v1. The use of any one of these four models depends on the meaning of the given sentence. I think you have understood it. Once again I am repeating. If you see the present simple tense there in the if clause, then in the main clause you will generally use future simple tense, means will shall plus v1. But sometimes instead of using will shall, we will have to use can, may, must, should, any one of these models along with the v1. Now the second rule starts. If the if clause is there in past simple tense, means if you see v2, was, were there in the if clause, then in the main clause you will have to use would plus v1. If you see past perfect tense there in the if clause, past perfect tense means had plus v3, then in the main clause you will have to use would have plus v3. If we join both the if clause and the main clause and it becomes a sentence conveying any fact, truth or proverb, okay, then in both the clauses, in the if clause and also in the main clause, we will have to use present simple tense. Okay, here are a few examples to understand the rules of the conditional sentences. The first example is, if you misbehave, I will call your parents. Here you can see that there is the present simple tense in the first clause, in the if clause. Then in the main clause we will use the future simple tense, will call. If I win this match, I will win the trophy as well. You can see there present simple tense is there in the if clause. Therefore, in the main clause, we will use future simple, will plus v1. Now, another example. If you want to stay healthy, you should exercise daily. You can see that present simple tense is there in the if clause. Therefore, we will use this rule. Either future simple means will shall plus v1, or can, may, must, should, any one of these four models plus v1. So you can see that it is an advice, therefore we have used here should. If you want to stay healthy, you should exercise daily. There is suggestion or advice in this clause, therefore we have used should. If you work in a planned way, if you work in a planned way, you may succeed. Here present simple tense is there in the if clause, therefore we will use either future simple or can, may, must, should along with v1. So we have used here may, because if we work, then we may succeed, because there is possibility, not there is any certainty. If he studied properly, he would pass the exam. There past simple tense is there in this if clause, therefore in the main clause we will use would plus v1, would pass. If he studied properly, he would pass the exam. Next example, if she had watched this funny video, this third rule, if she had watched this funny video, she would have died out of laughing. Here you can see it is the past perfect tense in the if clause, had plus v3. Therefore, in the main clause we have used here would have plus v3. Last example, if we grow in age, we grow in experience as well. We have you can see that both these clauses together convey affect. If we grow in age, we grow in experience. So this fourth rule has been used here. If any sentence conveys any fact, truth, or proverb, then we have to use present simple in both the clauses, in the if clause as well in the main clause. Therefore we have used here present simple tense in both the clauses.